But yeah, now we're here.
Where's here?
Back at the freshman house.
Whoa,
Where
to explain
it all
here.
started.
Didn't know our DM
The
was Vsauce
dreams.
Michael here.
Okay, so I don't remember a lot from the last session, but I remember it ending with Elliot running up to the freshman house.
Yeah, he dragged me away.
Yeah, and then I think only Dante and Gale like just followed after you when they saw you leave.
Yeah.
So,
That's weird, wasn't it?
Oh wait, crap! Piper's cat is a token now.
You just realized that?
Oh no, that we haven't. There's an actual There we go.
The Spirited Away one, yeah.
Alex,
What? I'm tired.
if you ever get time, I actually kind of want to see how you would draw the ferret.
Draw a ferret?
I'm curious. Yeah, draw the ferret thing.
I've never drawn a ferret. It probably looked just like a noodle with a snoot.
I want to see that.
I kind of want to see that too. That'd be pretty funny.
It would,
Oh,
it would be a snoodle.
Like a snake with arms and ears and a smiley face.
Put the Naga in chat, Alex. Put the Naga.
Oh, my snake dude?
Yeah.
Or Randy?
Yo,
Let me find Randy.
Old Randy.
I was gonna play as a Naga one day, and this was my character. His name's
That's Randy the Naga.
Yeah. He likes
Randy
to go
the Naga.
fishing, and he has a wrist, because he's a snake.
Currently at the freshman house, Alesia, Miriam, and Leku are just kind of bumming around while Yertle hides in a tree from the popo.
It'll be around any
Oh,
minute.
Do any of you do anything besides what you're already doing?
I mean, I'm getting dragged by my collar. I'm getting
Yeah,
interrogated myself by a friend.
Okay, so over in the senior house,
Oh, my rocking?
we join up with Julian, Gale, and Dante all hanging out with Elliot, and Elliot is freaking out. He looks disheveled. His tie is like it's not so much loosened as it is just like around his neck, just completely separated. His vest is unbuttoned, and like one of the buttons is like buttoned in the wrong little slit, and so it's got like this weird bump halfway up it. He's got like what looked like he's got stains on his shirt. They could be from blood or wine or another liquid you guys don't really know, which is kind of he looks awful. And he's grabbing Julian by the arm and just pulling him along, and just keeps repeating over and over again, "This is bad. This is bad. This is bad."
What? Why is there fire in the middle of the pool?
Yeah. Just as he's saying that, Julie's just like looking towards the pool on fire.
Is that like a brazier at least, or is it just a pool on fire?
So you look over at the pool, and just on the surface of the water is just a fire, and it's a big fire. It goes up like 7 feet high, and it's just like this enormous inferno just erupting, and it's just consistently like blazing and simmering, and there's no like on the token has a little ring, but that's not there. It's just literally like a fire on the water.
I feel like this
I
is
forgot
a
you guys had never
precursor
been to
to
the
a
senior
song.
house.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he's dragging Julie, and he's not really paying any attention to Gale and Dante, but they're just kind of also there. Dante just kind of has his hands in his pockets, just whistling along as he just kind of follows you guys.
Yeah.
I'm just succumbing to the force of nature.
And as you get within like 100 feet of the senior house, you can already hear blaring music coming from inside.
Never have I ever thought that the party dude would get out-partied.
Nah, he's just panicking because he got dethroned as party king.
What the hell? What the hell?
So are
Is that a
Julie,
gamble?
are you just
I
kind of
don't
going
know.
along with it?
Yeah, I'm just kind of quiet, considering the pool is on fire.
Priority. Why do they get a cool Porsche? Several hammocks and a fucking gambling table.
Because they're the seniors.
Yeah, that's seniors.
Think we deserve that shit?
Okay.
You gotta live to get that shit. Yeah, I just follow him up to the place.
Alright, here, Gale, or actually I'm just gonna make, okay, for today's game, Dante is gonna be movable by anybody. That's what you get for not showing up.
He goes to drown in the pool.
Yeah, I was about to say, he was gonna...
Yeah, so, if one of you could also just move Dante,
Oh.
yeah, just in the fire.
I miss him already. I can't believe Dante's dead.
Yeah, he jumps into the fire and incinerates instantly.
What a shame.
He stretches out his ashen, bony, skeletal hands in one last motion and gives 2 thumbs up and dies. His blackened skeleton floats to the bottom of the pool and he farts.
Oh god. Sorry, I had to just immediately
He'll probably just go look at the fire and just stare into the flames.
Yeah, sorry, I had to
God,
immediately just jump into that.
God, that is so many red flags right there.
That's obviously an
wanna see
office
the
health and
offer.
safety issue right there. Like, just saying.
Elliot walks up to the door, sort of stops, and he takes like a deep exhale. He stops talking. He runs a hand through his hair. He kind of straightens out his oddly buttoned vest. Kind of gets like a little he sort of like gives himself a little rub down, like a little like shaking off the dust essentially.
Yeah.
He takes another deep breath, and then he kicks the door open.
Whoa.
What the hell is going on? They summoned, I swear if the demon is in the middle of this party.
I mean, Julian
what
just
if
has like supreme concern on his face.
Oh my god, they have... Jesus Christ, this
What
room.
if his girlfriend is the demon in disguise?
Eric, I do.
So yeah, he bursts into the senior house.
Yeah, I kind of.
And as the door opens, like making an incredibly loud noise that you all can't hear because of the music, he like peeks out behind the door and like starts looking around it. And he sees all the seniors sort of hanging out on the couch, and you see one of them grabbing a bottle of wine off of the little sort of shelf they have there, and he starts very obviously tiptoeing like halfway into the house, and then he like dolphin dives behind the bar.
Can I just... Yeah,
And
I'm not gonna...
he turns back to you, Julian, and he waves for you to follow. And he starts crawling on all fours to the other side of the bar.
Making no effort to be stealthy, I kind of just walk in, hugging the door and looking
I'm
around
just
it.
gonna watch this happen.
Julian, as you walk in, the girl grabbing the wine has just like a single bottle in her hand, and she sort of does like a roundabout little like she moves in a that way direction, and she sees you, and she winks and just keeps walking.
Yeah, I just
As you
wave,
walk in.
kind of starting to close the door, but seeing Gale at the bottom of the stairs.
And close it anyways.
Yeah, like
You could.
staring at you.
What the hell is going... What? He just randomly dragged you off saying this was bad. I was kind of curious.
I shrug and like point towards my ear and like shake my head like I can't hear you.
Yeah, you can hear nothing during this entire interaction. You guys can't hear each other.
Okay, I'm just gonna prejudiciation and what he yelled. This he just kept saying this is bad and started walking off with you.
I give you a thumbs up and follow Elliot.
I'm gonna come too. Why the fuck not?
So the noise gets increasingly louder as you head towards this enormous.
Ooh.
It's like there's like a big amp, like a black square amp, and on top of that is what looks like a war siren, like 4 speakers in like each direction on top of that, and then on top of that is like an old styled gramophone that has several chords going into each of these different sort of
God.
speakers,
Pass me the
and
aux
it's
cable.
blasting just this wordless like beat.
Can I take my helmet that straight up doesn't have hair and put it on? I actually should have one of those.
Thrash metal.
God damn it.
And he's kind of still crawling, and he keeps like looking back and then waving for you two to follow him.
Yeah, I just kind of walk at him, covering my ears as I get closer to the gramophone of death.
So he just kind of goes. He's still crawling, even though like literally everyone probably saw him just crawl off the stairs. But he keeps crawling even up here, and he crawls all the way to this door. And he knocks, but you can't even hear him do it. And then he just goes inside.
Remind me to pick up the silent spell before we become seniors.
I don't. I mean, from the sound of it, it makes things quiet.
Yeah.
And then, Julian, as soon as you walk into the room, you can't hear the music anymore. It just stops. It just goes instantly quiet.
I get like a ringing in my ears from the sudden change.
Yeah. And Elliot sort of like peeks around the door, not even looking at Gale to see if anyone's watching, and then he goes back inside and he steps towards this cardboard box.
I guess I'll just walk inside too, because
And this box is sitting on this like little stool table in the center of the room, and every couple of seconds it like lurches like there's an animal inside of it trying to get out of the box.
Oh, I gasp.
Oh.
And like it's like rapid, and it sounds like there's like a rat in there or something trying to like beat out of the box. And Elliot is panting, and he's sort of like collecting himself. He's like sort of like rubbing his temples and like doing like little like not meditation, but he's trying to like do little exercises to like control his breathing.
Which is
Yeah.
probably failing terribly.
Oh, that would have been such a better idea if this meant nothing and he was just being like high.
Yeah. This is just all a bad drug.
Hey, I mean, I get the excuse to see the senior house. We get
Alright,
it.
so Elliot kind of like coalesces himself, and he turns to you, Julian, across the box. He says, "There is a missing book."
I point to the box. Like, what?
He says, "Here at the senior house, we have a lot of special privileges from the teachers, and we are allowed to take books from the library as long as we want, and we can keep them in the house, and one of them is missing."
Like, you got an overdue book or something?
He says, and he kind of stops himself and kind of like thinks for a second. He goes, "Books at Sphinthris are not just books, Julian. We're not talking about a late fee. This, we at the senior house throw a lot of parties,
I can go that much.
and with this book missing during one of the parties, that means that the staff will look further into our parties, and I can't have that." He says, "Professor Rowan came here looking for a very specific book, and we didn't have it because it's gone, because someone took it, and I know that because I know, and I don't know where it is."
What book and who took it?
He says, I don't know who took it.
If he knew, he would have gone after them.
Yeah, if you knew what book it was. Sorry.
He says, but it's a book that was used for advanced combat magic, and we don't have it anymore because it's gone, and it was from the forbidden section, and if we don't find it, I'm going to be killed."
I'm just gonna look at Joy. We could probably help with this, but
I mean, who has access to the forbidden section?
He says, "Any student can obtain permission from a teacher, but seniors are given special permission, and we are allowed to take one book at a time, and I took that book for no reason, and now it's gone, and I'm going to be killed."
wait, is there something magic about the books themselves, or if you had something that was exactly the
He
same?
interrupts you and screams, "We need to find the book!"
Is it just lost, or did someone nick it? Are we like, is someone
He says,
in this house, or someone from a different one?
I knew where it was. It was in this room, and it during one of our parties, I came up here, and it was gone.
By the way, how long have you had this book for?
Says, and he starts like rubbing his temples again. He says, I want to say, a month.
Is there only one of those in the forbidden section? Or are there multiple?
He says, there's a lot of different combat magics. It had to do with telekinetic combat. Look, it's not important. But
That's what I'm about.
he says, it was volume 1, and he walks towards the box, and he sort of pries his fingers into the sort of top, and he like pries apart the tape holding it together, and the box flies open, and outside of the box flies a book that just like shoots out and starts flapping around the room like crazy, and like bumping into the curtains and like flapping around and just like making like a ton of noise. And Elliot doesn't even seem to notice it, and he goes, or he notices it because he's disturbed by the fact that it's like being crazy, and he points at it, he says, "That is volume 2."
What?
Oh my god.
And then, Gale, I need you to make a dexterity saving throw. Alright, the book suddenly goes flying right for your face.
Oh.
Can I catch it?
You sort of, you press your fingers around it, and as you catch it, it just slides right through your fingers and just slams into the door. And it kind of falls to the ground and then gets back up again and keeps beating against the door to try to get out.
Can I cast calm emotions on this whole scene? I want to calm everything down.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm not sure if I can
I'm
calm
just
down
okay.
at books.
Does
but-
it know where one will be?
He sort of, like this. The spell definitely seems to have an effect on him, and he just kind of gets really, really mellow for a second. And while saying nothing, he sort of just does his tie, and he pulls it all the way up to his collar, and then pulls it down a little bit.
Yeah. Can't breathe, man.
And he sort of he points to the book and he says, "The book will lead us to its mate." And then he sits down on the ground.
I have a question. How fast does the book seem like it's going?
Maybe
Like, do we
like
think we
5 miles an hour. Kinda
I'm
speed.
only asking, like, do we think we could run after it reasonably?
Oh yeah, definitely. Like, you might not be able to run as fast as it unless you're really hoofing it, but like, you could definitely like with a walking pace keep it in sight.
Okay.
Does it look like it's mellowed at all from my spell?
No, the book is still just like sprinting around the room trying to figure out how to open a door.
Yeah.
Well,
I might
Elliot just kind of like holds his hand out towards it, and then the book like stops moving, but it's like wiggling still, as if it's like restrained by something, and the book kind of like with like a weird force kind of goes in like an arc motion and goes back into the box, and then the box lids close. And the entire time Elliot follows the book with his hand, and then when it goes into the box, he uses his other hand to like put up 2 fingers, and then the box lids close.
Dude.
You
gotta teach me that shit.
Yeah.
That's like next
says-
level mage hand.
He says, some other time. And he takes the box
Okay.
in both hands, and then he throws it at you, Julian.
Oh, I attempt to catch.
Alright, make a dexterity saving throw.
I kind of want to say I want to try and intercept, but I'm not sure why.
Yeah, so Julian, the like, you catch it, but it like sends you like walking back a couple steps. It like hoofs you in the chest.
Got winded by a cardboard box.
Well, he threw it at you. And as you're holding it, like the box almost falls out of your hands because the book is like moving, like inside the box, and it's almost like a compass in the sense that like it's pointing you towards the door.
Oh, okay. I kind of.
And Elliot just kind of whistles, like he's got like a really blank, calm expression and like the slightest smile. And as he walks up to the door just opens up.
I'm just waiting for him to walk out of the common motion range, which is like 20 feet.
He steps out the door and has a panic attack.
Exactly. 'Cause
So okay, let's see. You were standing like right there.
His tie
He's still
explodes off.
good.
He panics because his tie. He's not formal. That's why he panics.
Yeah, definitely off by that point.
Yeah, so he just kind of starts walking.
That is awesome.
Oh, I love that! Oh, that's so good! Oh, I will love all Elliot fan art more than anything else.
Fair enough.
Dune. You walked in
Door.
Yeah, Door.
I did look like Dune. I admit that's what I read at first as well.
As soon as he gets to here, that not a whole lot changes in his demeanor, but he starts, like his expression changes. He gets a lot more like intensified, and he like keeps walking, and then he turns around and like sees that Julian isn't there, and he dashes back, and then like as soon as like he runs to like go see where Julian is, but then as soon as he gets back within range, he gets like really chill, and he goes against the wall.
AI.
He goes against the wall and just slumps.
I'm just wait. Oh, I was hoping that he would have yo-yoed and I could have just watched this happen.
Oh no,
is a
crap! You're right.
Bethesda,
The
don't
range is
worry.
60 feet, but it's 20 feet radius.
like
Never
he-
mind.
Yeah,
Okay, he
it was
did
like-
that. He did
Look,
exactly
lock
the
the
same
door.
thing, but he just did it a lot
Just closer.
closer. He just kind of slumps against the floor and he says, "You know what, Green? Maybe we don't need to even find the book." And then he just kind of slumps down and like gets his chin all caught in his collars. He just kind of like is slumped against the wall on the floor. And he says, "When I die, I'll become one."
I'm gonna well in the middle of this. I'm gonna push him like 2 feet to the right.
Why?
He's like still talking. He's like, "I'll become one with the grass, and the gazelle will eat me." And then he kind of flumps against the wood outside of the range. And he says, and then he grabs you by the collar, Gale, and like pulls you towards him. He says, "I don't want to die."
The gazelle can burn for all I care.
This poor fellow.
I'm sorry, Gil couldn't help it. I couldn't help it.
No, it's great.
I'm just gonna-
This poor fellow.
I'm just gonna presentation message. Julian, get your butt over here.
Yeah. Also, the music is blaring right now. You can
Well, no,
just
I would
keep
have
your-
it in the. I would make it in the air.
I'm
Yeah.
there, like hugging the box, just kind of whispering to him. "Come, we'll find you, buddy. Don't worry. We'll find the other book.
We'll get you a
We'll
friend.
get you, we'll get you friends."
Go ahead and make an animal handling check.
Oh,
Animal handle check on a book.
Trust
boy.
me, we're best friends.
Oh, okay, yeah. The book sort of like calms down, I guess.
I'm just
It's still moving. It's still flying like against the box, like to like push you in the direction it's trying to fly. But it's a lot less frantic, and it's more just like nudging the box.
Okay, we'll go. I'm gonna
Here you
walk
go, Missy.
outside,
Here you go.
and we like, I can't stop at Elliot, and with the most like little brother trying to be cool in the eyes of his big brother, just gives him like a stern thumbs up. It's just, "We got your back, Elliot. We're gonna find this book, and you're not gonna die."
Yeah, come on, we'll be fine.
He sort of lets out like another deep exhale, and he sort of puts both of his hands out, and like in like sort of like a calming down motion, and he breathes again. He says, "Okay, let's do this." And he sort of strides out towards the stairs, and then all of a sudden he swivels around. And he says, "I don't know how far this will take us, so if you guys need to like do anything, maybe do that."
I was gonna maybe suggest grabbing our broomsticks in case the book is high up for some reason, but that was
Elliot like snaps his finger to point at you and he says, "That is genius." And he snaps his fingers, and you hear like something in the room, like a chest unlock.
I immediately hit
Crap,
the
I
deck.
don't have the.
Dude, I wish I could be as cool as Elliot is.
One day
Dude,
we'll
we
be
all
in this
do.
house.
one day.
When he leaves, I'm gonna inherit his headband. All its party sweat.
I thought that was a visor.
Why is the box covering Julian?
Because I'm hiding in it.
Okay.
I thought that was one of those shitty, like,
No,
people that
that's
take
not...
you on tours, visor. That's why he gave him it. That's why he gave him a visor in the thing.
Oh, one of those like sport
I kind of
visors.
don't mind it as a visor, but it is a headband.
Sports visor.
It's a visor headband.
Okay, but listen, if you're gonna draw it as a visor, the next time you post a picture of him, it needs to say something really stupid or witty on it.
Like sports
Oh.
ball.
So, well, I mean, I'm working on animating it to where he's tiptoeing across the thing.
I
It's
love
so
that.
Thick and bright pink.
And then he just flops on the floor for some reason.
Like, I want him to go to the side of the screen and then just immediately come out the door again. Just loop it perfectly.
Alright, so he sort of
Just get it to
sprints
the
down the
front,
stairs.
And as he's tiptoeing on the visor, fuck this shit slowly.
He looks in the direction of his other seniors and he blows a kiss, and then he sprints out the door.
Okay, that's what we're doing. Hey, Julian, you want me to hold on to that, or are you good?
No, it's my box. This is my responsibility.
Okay.
There's many like it, but this one is mine.
Yes.
Dante, stop looking at the fucking random fire and come over here.
He just shrugs and just starts following.
I take one last look at like the multiple weird humanoids that I've never seen before in my life.
You've never seen it. Well, I mean,
Well, they're tieflings,
Well,
but you know.
Gretchen over there, she looks pretty human.
But
She's
she's
got a
got a
funky
sick
costume
hat.
though.
Like,
She's got like a full witch garb, and like the end of her dress goes all Ursula, and it's got like all these like little ripped, like sort of up-pointed little like pieces of cloth on it. It looks really cool. And then you see, you've seen some elves. This is a black elf with white hair, and then you see two demon people.
Also, I just gotta say, you probably feel the stranger urge to flip off the Eric Edu.
Eric.
Just Eric will do.
Eric will do. Is his brother.
That sounds like a great service name. Like you give that as a you say that's your
Eric
reader
will do.
name.
Alright, book bro. Let's go find this other book.
If I remember correctly, Dante and Yertle don't have rooms.
Oh shit.
they had-
Yodel just
they
turn
had-
into a mouse and get on my shoulder.
Yeah.
And Dante can go side saddle.
Dante's the NPC. It doesn't really matter.
We'll just
Oh, not my
tie a
goal.
noose around him and then hang him off the broom.
What?
Drag him with
Wait,
us.
wait. Are we second level? Can someone here test levitation?
Maybe?
I don't think I took that. I think I may have taken other things.
I love that so much.
I can go invisible.
I have, like, lesser restoration for some reasons prepped.
Nope.
No.
Okay. Well, that's
No.
fine. You could just leave your door with Dante. You know it's safe with him. But yeah, let's go.
Alright, so Leku, you're just kind of walking outside.
I never leave my door.
Well, give it to Dante. Don't you trust him? And you've left it before when you were breaking into the panties.
We never did nothing.
That was,
Don't snitch on me, you
No.
Not in front of Elliot.
that was a different time. That was different.
Alright guys, book heist mark 2. I mean, the first book heist. There was no previous.
Exactly. Come on, guys. Wait. We should take Miriam. It's just
And
completely-
there's just a group of people hopping on brooms outside.
Yeah, Leku, you walk outside, and just kind of same shit as usual. You see the boys run around outside.
Do we invite Miriam? Wait, do we know if Miriam has her own broom?
Julian has a
So-
moving box he's kind of holding around, and Elliot is screaming with his broom. Dante's just standing there watching it all, and then Yertle has his door.
Lecky's starting to get the feeling this is going to be the norm around here.
Yep.
I kind of try to hide
You're-
the fact that the box is shaking by making it look like I'm kind of moving it.
You're
But,
just waving it in the air,
yeah.
Yeah, but
like
do we
I've
know?
got a jar of dirt style, just like holding it above your head.
Yeah,
I'm
but,
gonna look at her.
Look,
Yeah,
we're
but do you
we're
know
going on a
Miriam
butt-kicking
has
adventure.
do we know if Miriam has a whatever?
She doesn't have a
broom?
broom.
Miriam does not have a broom. She got one
Oh,
of the
damn.
ones in the.
Ah,
Broomball
Julian.
Yes, this is a normal box. Don't worry about it. It's just got clothes in it.
I'm not gonna question it as long as it doesn't summon another interdimensional creature from another world.
Dante says, "Hey man, too soon."
Too soon, man.
But I'm going to have to postpone those training matches.
Okay.
We agreed on. Well, good luck with whatever you're doing.
We're just gonna go. Yeah, we're off on an adventure to find the wonderful book of that.
There's no
that was
books.
stolen.
What are you talking about? It's just clothes. It's clothes. I'm going to do my laundry.
Elliot runs forward and pokes Leku in the chest, and he says, "Now wait just a second. You did that thing with us, right? And he raises his eyebrows.
Do you mean the...
Oh
The
God!
thing that never happened, Deardle. The thing
He
that never
says-
happened.
Never happened yet.
You're one of us now, so pack up your things, mister, because we're going on a trip."
I
Points.
believe I have everything I own on me already, but I can tell you now, I'm not going to be with you anymore.
You moving place or something?
Were you kicked out, Leku? Why you got all the? Why you got all your stuff?
Elliot all of a sudden gets like really frantic, and he grabs you by your collar, like when he like lifts you a solid inch off the ground, and says, "Did you rat us out?"
Oh my god. This is tired.
Elliot, calm down!
I
high school.
did not know, and I would appreciate it if you put me down. Freckles just jumps over onto Elliot's shoulder.
As Freckles jumps like halfway through the air, Freckles stops and moves back onto your shoulder.
Oh.
Then Elliot puts you down.
Wait, what?
Like
Sorry,
Freckles
what?
stops in midair and then slowly floats back onto your shoulder.
Magic.
Elliot a thick boy when it comes to magic.
Fucking Elliot.
He good with magic.
You don't fuck with him.
Anyway, I've been invited to the Crub Club, I believe.
Oh, the
Oh,
Crummy.
you're
He-
getting
He steps like a solid 10 feet away from you, and he says, "Ew."
Oh my. Well, he's getting crubbed. Fair enough.
Good luck with
I
that.
don't quite agree with the name, but
What's wrong with Crub?
There's nothing wrong with getting crubbed. I'll just with the name at
It just
least.
means you're a smart boy. So smart, you get to have your own special time. period
Elliot
with
kind of
others.
sways over to you,
Everyone
Gale.
else.
He puts an arm around your shoulder and says, "You better watch out now." And he points at Leku and he says, "I bet by sophomore year half your class gonna get crubbed." He kind of slumps down and falls.
Wait, what?
He,
What does that mean, Elliot?
I mean, Elliot, you already know our intelligence streak. I think you're overshooting us way too high. Gil is still a sarcastic fuck. I don't portray that enough.
Elliot shrugs. He's on the ground, just laying flat on his stomach, and he starts picking the grass.
Are we gonna?
Okay,
So-
at that note, Yale will wrap his free arm. You my token to awesome.
I'm fucking dying.
Wrap his free arm around Elliot to pick him up, type thing, like if it's the door.
Do you want to put him on the door and just carry him around like a litter?
We'll
Yeah.
carry around like it's
Might as well.
it's an emergency table thing.
All right, go and make a strength check just to see if you can carry him. He does not object. Yeah. He only weighs like 160 pounds. He's a skinny kid, so you just kind of hoist him up, and now you're just kind of toting him around.
You know, we totally could probably set up with our 3 brooms a thing that could handle all of us to Theodore's door if we really wanted.
Probably.
Not
Elliot says, "I'm not mechanically inclined. I wouldn't exactly
I mean,
trust."
I mean, there's duct tape, but sure.
I still have a rope and
a lazy as maniacal
In my
laughing
shell.
in the background.
Did somebody
yeah, no.
say mechanical?
Yeah. But yeah, no, lucky, good for you.
Yeah, look,
Right.
I thought you thought of us as equals. Funny how that turned out, huh?
You can see Leku, like, physically holding back information as he lowers his head in disappointment.
Hey man, yeah, I'm just gonna pat you on the shoulder. I'm just gonna pat you on the shoulder. You're fine.
You're gay.
Just be careful. You get
Just don't end up turning into an absolute prick, and we can still be friends. I'm pretty sure.
yeah, if you turn into a prick and try to treat us like we're lesser than you, that's when you suffer consequence.
Yeah, but now,
I
for now, you
honestly
seem like a
don't
fine person.
know what
I'm gonna pat you on
to
the
do
shoulder.
yet. But least to say, there's very little choice in these matters, so I'll be moving forward now.
Okay, see you, man.
Have a good one.
You
Have a
try
good
not
one.
to trip on any of the broomsticks that are just scattered on the ground.
I take the long way around.
I run up and like bust in the door, and like hold my arm out towards the fireplace, and summon my bird.
Yeah, Hans just like flies over as soon as he sees you, just onto your
Hans,
shoulder.
We're going on a butt-kicking adventure. Scar.
I walked up to ship Piper's cat.
I kind of
Piper's cat.
What?
I said Shiv, but
Oh, okay.
That's what I...
That's so much better.
I thought Gale just pulled a Glock out of his hoodie and just went like.
No, that's what Alasia does.
just pulls out a Glock, shoots the cat.
Black cat
Rolls
bad
out.
luck. Nah.
I would totally do that if I want.
Let's see
I
if
could.
cats have 9 lives.
Gale just narrows his eyes and goes, "Curiosity did kill the cat." He just shoot.
Oh god. No, I was just gonna shoot the cat 9 times, and if it died afterwards, then I had 9 lives. If it died before, it didn't
Toasty
quite.
just looks at you in utter horror.
Toasty fears for a cat's life.
Is it bad that I actually want to roll this out just to see if I murder his cat? I'm not actually going.
While the door is open, I kind of, with a free hand if I have one, try and finger gun over at Miriam. Just, you want in, Miriam? Butt kick an adventure.
We're looking for a buck.
It has to do with something that's in the box.
She sort of turns around and she says, the last time we went to go look for a book,
It's not the same. Trust us.
It's not what you think it is.
she stands up, she says, you know what, I've already gotten this far. And she just kind of starts, walking along with you guys.
Woo! I hold up the box above my
Nice.
head and she says, "We got Miriam!"
I mean, to be fair, our brooms can easily carry 2 of us, at least. Or mine can if it's actually the
Yeah.
They're not gonna go as fast, but they can carry him just fine.
Yeah, I sit on mine and, like, tap the other side of it with my hand, looking at Miriam.
As you do
There's
that,
a seat next to
Dante
me.
just kind of crawls on.
I look, like, over my other shoulder, just, like, giving him the most, like, fucking bro-y face.
I
Bro,
just
you
look at
wanna
Miriam.
do this to me?
You can sit in my room if you want.
He smirks and he wraps his arms around your waist.
Dude, bro, I was gonna get some of that good puss tonight.
Oh my god. I'm just gonna look at Miriam. You can go in line if you want, I guess.
Ooh, Jeff stealing your girl.
I have complete confidence in Julian.
Yeah, Julian. No, Gail's not actually gonna do it.
Elliot says, "How about you go with Turtle?"
My groom can physically. I'm sorry, but he's too heavy. I physically cannot carry him.
He says, "Freshman says what?"
What?
No.
What?
Why? I'm not that heavy, am I?
I'm not fat.
Elliot just kind of walks over to Miriam, grabs her by the hand, and starts pulling her. Just like not like pulling her, but like leading her.
Gets her in a headlock.
You're riding with me or else.
And he just kind of helps her onto the broomstick.
Bone sword.
Yeah.
Doesn't the door transform with you when you transform?